Brian, it's a special time of year, full of eggnog, cookies, and Hallmark films, particularly starring Dean Cain.
It's Dean-cember!
Yay! Not just Dean-cember, Dean-cember with another dog.
Fuck it, we said the first time we did one of these movies that we could do nothing but Dean Cain dog Christmas movies for the rest of our lives.
There are so many of them.
We found another one. Hello, welcome back to Good Bad Media LLC, show watch terrible movies and tell you if you should too. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Shilligo, joined once again, and as always, by the other host of this illustrious show.
Brian's
the happiest,
festive.
most
I'm
magical
not too
time
festive.
of year. Yep, my same sweater that I've had since we started doing this. I have one other one that I wear occasionally, but it's the most magical time of year, Kyle. It is, well, for some people. Some people don't give a shit. But
No.
Here, move your mic closer to your face.
Oh,
and,
my bad.
Not,
Just
not
get
quite that
get
close.
right there and just be like, hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? My name is Kyle.
Okay. But it is December. It's the Christmas season, and it's the return of Dean-cember.
Who's got jelly donuts? Matt. Got jelly donuts. Who's got jelly donuts?
If you need a film made by the cheap and you need an actor that people recognize from the 90s, Dean Cain.
Dean Cain is your man, and any dog movie is your movie.
Yeah, thank God he's not allergic to dogs. Otherwise, his career would have been worse off than it is now.
That is very true.
When animals and plants can talk, my interface with the real world officially stops.
It's another Christmas dog movie that you found with Dean Cain.
Because why not?
This one's called A Belle for Christmas. Belle spelled with an E at the end.
Yes, B-E-L-L-E.
Because it's the name of a dog. Kyle, this movie's fucking boring.
It is so boring. There's
some moments, but
this is the definition of, this is the torture that some people have submitted to us. And we're like, you know what? We're taking this one ourselves because it follows our Dean-cember. But this is what some of you people are suggesting to us sometimes.
No, don't. This is not the right thing.
Oh, you must be the neighbor and you adopted a dog. Isn't that nice?
Nope, she's ours for the keeping. And you're allergic, ain't ya?
This is like Billy Owens if we like without the insane wizard parody.
Yeah. Well,
it's that boring.
It's that boring. I will say the other thing that makes it suck is it's almost too competent. Like it's kind of just, it's not a good movie by any stretch, and there's a lot of terribleness. But like one thing that I thought is that the kids are pretty good, like acting wise.
If you really have low blood sugar, go and see your pediatrician. I wasn't asking for a handout.
It's like most of the kids I thought did I thought most of them did a pretty good job. I was impressed. In particular, Malcolm. I think he's amazing. The little kid who just smiles all the time. He's like got this giant shit-eating grin on his face all the time. I love that kid. But you know you're always in for a good movie when the opening credits are just in white Arial font. Like nothing else. And it's my favorite thing is even the name of the movie comes up and it's like A Belle for Christmas, white Arial. You couldn't spend $20 on Fiverr to have somebody
or bother changing it from
logo.
something other than default.
Yes, that's what I mean. Just do anything. Put any level of effort into your movie, please. Or not. That's fine. The guy who wrote this movie, Jake Helgren, has done a bunch of these like terrible Christmas movies.
He is a Hallmark guy.
Yes, I looked through his catalog, and he had done a bunch of terrible like Hallmark Christmas movies. I assume they're terrible. I haven't actually looked through. Maybe the rest of them are incredible, Kyle.
Name me a good Hallmark film.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a Hallmark film unless these count, which I don't know if they're ever on Hallmark. I have a feeling
they just feel like they follow the structure.
Yeah, these are too bad. Even Hallmark movies have some like level of production value compared to these.
Well, yeah, its production value is soap opera.
Yeah. So we open up and we find out that Dean Cain's wife is dead.
Yes, because what better thing to do in this time of year? I mean, granted, he's reflecting on all the things that have happened this year, but he's just watching the previous Christmas where his wife was still
alive. Oh wow!
And now, it's Dean Cain's a widower. No, I mean, how many films has this happened in?
Most of the movies I feel like that we've done, he has a dead wife.
Hi, I'm married to Dean Cain's character in this movie. Oh.
Bad
nice
news.
knowing you.
I got bad news for you, lady. Boy. So they end up going after this intro. They end up going. We find out that it's dead. They end up going to like some sort of Christmas park, like party, like something in the park, and there's like a dog adoption agency there. I don't know where they are or why. I think it's like some sort of like holiday thing in the park or whatever.
Yeah, and you've seen these out there. It's like an adopt-a-thon almost.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we got dogs. You come adopt them. And Haley Duff works for
God.
this.
I was like, Duff. No.
Or Greater Duff, depending on who you ask, I guess. But yeah, Haley Duff shows up as the who runs this like adoption organization or whatever. I don't remember her character's name. I just called her Haley Duff the whole time. Is it? Okay. But the kids are want to adopt a dog from her. They meet this Belle. I think that's its name at this point. Or I don't know if they name it or if
I don't think the dog maybe it has a name.
It doesn't matter.
Point being is Dean Cain's like, hang on. If we adopt a dog, the kids are gonna have fun with the dog for like maybe 4 or 5, 6 months, and then it becomes Dad's responsibility.
Yeah.
And after a couple of weeks, kids lose interest, and Pops ends up taking care of said canine for the next 10 to 12.
Yeah. And then, so they're chatting with her, and he's like, basically saying that. He's like, I don't know. This doesn't seem like a good idea. And then they leave. And then we're introduced to his new girlfriend, who I believe is working at the bakery when we first meet her, maybe. I don't know. She's on the phone with her friend or whatever, I think. Because there's this, or I think, because she's having this conversation, and she's talking about her how she's dating Dean Cain.
Yes, who is a hotshot hunk of a lawyer.
What a hunky slab of punk bread that is.
I know.
Yes. Is he a lawyer?
Yes.
I didn't know.
He's supposed to be a lawyer, which I mean, in addition to all the legal
Isn't that
problems,
what he was in the Hedgehog movie too? Wasn't he?
No, he was a tie salesman.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh no. He's a sports agent.
Yeah, he was an agent.
He was a tie salesman in 3 Dog Years.
We've done too many things, Kyle. I can't that you just knew what Dean Cain's profession was in 3 different terrible animal movies.
We are currently in the Dean multiverse.
You're like, no, wait, I just remembered.
Oh God.
It's not that one where he's a tile salesman. It's the other one.
To be fair, I do have no reason for knowing the sports agent thing. That is really bad. However, I remember the tie salesman because of the dude at the end, the cat tie. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
and that's the most insane shit I've ever seen.
Oh fuck, that's right.
Who's got jelly donuts? Match. Got jelly donuts. Who's got jelly donuts? Match. Got jelly donuts.
But she's talking about how she loves, he's great and whatever, but, and he's rich and loaded in such a nice house, but, it's too bad that his kids are such snarky little tarts, and I hate that sentence, Kyle. I hate that sentence. I do not like.
It's repeated.
It is.
Oh, it's
Too bad his kids are such snarky little tarts.
That doesn't faze me. Nothing a little discipline can't fix.
They were really proud of that one. How fucking weird that's snarky little tarts. I'm like, ugh.
The girlfriend is played by Christy Swanson.
Yes, the original Buffy.
Who in addition to that, is also worked with Dean Cain on multiple films, which is in the trivia to this. This is their 6th film working together.
Holy cow. I did not realize that.
Yes.
But yeah, the original Buffy, she was also in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
And Psych. That's another
one. I have not seen Psych.
Later seasons.
There you go. So that's a few things you may know Christy Swanson from. And I will say at the beginning of this movie and throughout, this is the best Dean Cain has been in one of these movies. Like, he's not great. But he's trying more than some of the other movies.
It feels like he has good direction in this one too, which is you're a caring dad, you're a lawyer, and you're in a you're in a relationship after your wife had passed away.
Yeah.
And he's like, nailed it. Got it.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Well, is he the worst? Probably at this point.
Now look, she's trying really hard with you guys, so I would appreciate it if you would be nice. Both of you.
Yeah. So there's one scene early on that I thought was pretty good where he's talking to his dead wife's mom, who comes over. And he's basically like, oh, she's like, I'll cook dinner for the kids tonight. Because she's like babysitting them during the day while he goes to work or whatever. Because he like forgot that because his wife, I guess, stayed home with the kids during Christmas break or whatever. And he's like, oh shit, I gotta have somebody to watch the kids. But she's like, I'll cook dinner. And he's like, oh, actually, that new girl that I'm seeing is coming over that I told you about. And the way he handles this conversation actually feels really real. Like in this moment, he's like,
maybe you could stay and you could meet her. Unless that would be weird.
If you guys want to, you could come if you want to meet, or if that would be weird, you don't have to. Like it's like it feels very like, how do you navigate this weird ass thing? And he doesn't like it feels like pretty realistic.
The kid's grandmother, but like the in-law of my dead wife. Hey, do you want to come meet the woman that I'm trying to get with? Like that is.
I think it's awkward, but he handles it in a way that feels how you would handle that awkward situation.
Hi, I'm trying to replace your daughter. Would you like to meet her? Jesus.
I think it feels pretty genuine. But we cut outside because the kids are doing something outside, and this is where we're introduced to Malcolm, my favorite character in this movie. Yes. He's walking down the street, and he has this line.
Well, he's on a bike.
He's on a bike, yeah.
So this is kind of weird. So like, Dean Cain is leaving to go to the office. He's a lawyer in this.
Yeah.
And he's leaving to go to the office, and he just drives right up alongside his son. They have a little heart-to-heart talk, and then he drives off. They're in the middle of the street having this conversation. I mean, then again, it's in the suburbs. I don't know. It just seemed a little weird.
It's not that weird, I don't think. But this kid is... Malcolm has this line where I think he's talking to the little boy. I don't know any of these kids' names, by the way. I'm just gonna call them, except for Malcolm, because he's the only one I cared about.
Yes.
But he has this line where he says,
"Have you ever heard of a poop on a wooden pew? Sounds like a choir, one praise and hallelujah."
Have you ever heard a poot on a wooden pew? It sounds like a choir of one praise and hallelujah. It's such a weird line, but it's very funnily delivered.
I remember that. What?
Have you ever heard a poot on a wooden pew? Like, what is happening? What? But then this little kid, Malcolm, is also very horny, which is a horrifying thing that I just had to come out of my mouth. But he sees the neighbors.
They got hot cocoa.
Yeah,
for $2.50 a cup. Extortion.
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty, is what he says, and they rush over there.
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty.
They do get full-size marshmallows, so I'll give them that.
Yeah, they do.
With the little dinky ones.
But the little dinky ones are better in hot chocolate.
They do dissolve better. Yeah.
Yeah, the big ones just in the well. That's the worst take you've ever had on this show, Kyle. You like big marshmallows in your hot chocolate?
I don't like marshmallows in my hot chocolate at all.
Okay, fair enough. That's fine.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
But you said at least they have the big marshmallows. Like that was a superior choice. Anyways,
just cut to black. Kyle was removed from the show after this discussion
of his terrible marshmallow opinions. But they get some thing and what they get some hot chocolate, and the main kid, this Dean Cain's son, is like into the neighbor girl or whatever, and then he's just being cock blocked by the other neighbor girl the whole time. Again, this is a bunch of 6-year-olds.
Yes,
it's horrifying.
It's nice you're trying to help all the dogs with the fundraiser, though. The things a boy will say to get a girl to believe him. What are you talking about?
Not only that, like the dialogue is so unnatural in certain ways.
Yeah.
Like there's a part where they're like, maybe,
that whole scene with them is wild.
Like they're like ripping on each other and being like maybe you're just having an issue. You should go see your pediatrician. First off, it's the parent's pediatrician for the kid. The kid would just refer to them as a doctor.
Yes. Yeah, it's clearly this whole scene is like adults writing little kids talking in a way that little kids just do not talk at all.
If you really have low blood sugar, go and see your pediatrician.
But so then we get to dinner that night, and the grandma did come over to meet Christy Swanson's character, Danny, I believe is her name, Danielle or something like that. They call her Danny, and she reveals that she knew the dead wife. They grew up together and were in high school together, and that
competed for beauty pageant.
Danny actually said she knew of Janie in school.
Yeah. Yes, Daniela, I do believe I remember you.
Yes, and also Christy Swanson was an actress. Like her character was an actress
in
the universe, and was like, it's very strange.
Yes.
Some modeling and some acting, and
that just didn't pan out. So I'm back here starting fresh and anew.
Also complained about not having enough Cornish hens. It's like, first, Cain would have been like, hey, by the way, their grandma's coming over as well. So you'll have an extra, but whatever.
Extra, nope, doesn't tell him. Good job, Cain. Also, and we talked about this right before we started recording, but this scene is where it first becomes apparent. The message of this movie is insane.
Yes. Okay, these kids, Dean Cain's children, are little shitbags.
Absolute nightmare children. Who are
what my two most favorite customers like today.
How about a break from the baloney?
just completely rude and terrible to this. And now again, understandable that this new woman a year, less than a year after your mom died, you'd be standoffish and stuff, but they are terrible. And Dean Cain is like, hey, stop being so terrible.
Not just like they have terrible opinions about her to her face.
Yes, to her face. In this scene, one of them is like,
so you knew my mom and you think it's okay to like my dad?
You knew my dead mom and you're gonna date our dad or something? Like, it's like, they're like, they make this weird thing where it's like weird for her to date. The message seems to be that it's very weird for her to be dating their dad because she knew their mom when she was alive. And that's not weird at all. That's like, if you guys were friends or something, like that's totally normal, whatever.
There's nothing, and there's also nothing to say like that she knew that their mom was married to Dean Cain at any point.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I don't even necessarily know that. Yeah, she just knew that woman. Like, she didn't even know that she was with Dean Cain. But even if she had, it's still not. That's fine. She's dead now. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. But the whole time I'm like, oh, these kids are going to end up being correct. And that makes the whole...
it completely subverts it.
Yeah, because the whole point should be like, Dean Cain is saying very reasonable things to these kids this whole movie of like, hey, can you not... like say terrible shit to the woman I'm dating, and like, can you try to like be a little nice to this person?
Now look, she's trying really hard with you guys, so I would appreciate it if you would be nice. Both of you.
All the way until the writing jerks this storyline off a goddamn cliff.
Yeah, where she becomes super evil.
Yeah, she is doing everything she can and trying. Yeah. And it doesn't seem bad.
Yeah, she seems fine. Like, there's no reason that the kids should hate her other than, again, just the inherent nature of it being weird that, like when your mom is being replaced or whatever. But like, which again is understandable, but Dean Cain says reasonable things, but then the kids are proven right and they were correct to be assholes to this woman. And it's like, what is happening? It's insane.
No wonder she did bad in LA. That was a terrible performance.
I think you guys owe Danny an apology.
So if you're a kid and you're in this situation, just be a dick. You're probably right.
Yeah. Fuck. But yeah, like you said, they competed for beauty pageant, and Danny's like, it was rigged. This shit was rigged. Your mom won, but the election was stolen. She's like,
and somehow Danny claimed that the ballots had been rigged, but when they did a recount, Janie won by a landslide.
And by the way, this movie is 2014, so yeah.
Oh goodness. Also, I love, so at one point she stormed out because one of the kids was mean to her, and she like went up to the bedroom or whatever, and then Dean Cain comes to get her, and she comes back down, and Dean Cain does not realize that she put on.
Now, I don't know if this is, I don't know where this bathroom is situated, but it seems kind of weird to just have a full jewelry box in what could just be like a public use. I would say public use.
I think it might have been his bathroom.
Like the commons bathroom.
Yeah, I think it might have been his bathroom. Who knows? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he doesn't realize that she's wearing
she
his...
put on the dead wife's necklace.
Yes.
But one of the kids is like, hey, that's our mom's necklace.
So it's like these kids are having a horrible take on this woman who seems to be trying at this point. And then she's immediately like, oh, by the way, I'm also kind of terrible.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. But then, so the next day... Haley Duff just shows up with the dog.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. This was like completely unwarranted.
She's a terrible dog rescue manager or whatever, because literally just shows up and is like, here's that dog you looked at yesterday and had a bunch of reasons why you shouldn't adopt it. Here it is. It's yours now. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's terrible.
I mean, you show up on my doorstep here with this fuzzy little bit of cuteness with the... It's not like I ever really had a choice, huh?
She's like the worst. You're doing the worst job at running a dog rescue that I've ever seen. Also, in this scene, you get the first hints, and I wrote it here, and I was like, so help me God, if Dean Cain ends up with Haley Duff, I will shoot myself. Surprise.
Well,
Surprise!
I think in order to learn responsibility, you have to be given responsibility. I think that applies to the kids here, right?
It's like she's like 20 years younger than It's like, okay, great, amazing. But anyways, so they adopt the dog. Dean Cain's like, fuck it, why not? And I'm like, yeah, sure,
and
we'll adopt it.
Immediately, Christy Swanson's character is allergic.
Yeah, incredibly allergic. And also, Haley Duff is still there when Danny comes in and starts sneezing like crazy and stuff. And it's like, well, I guess I'm sure this won't cause any issues. I'm just gonna leave.
Exactly. What
a terrible job you do. You should not run a dog rescue. What are you doing? Oh my God. But then we get like a montage of them like bonding with the dog or whatever. And we get this great moment where one of Danny, Christy Swanson's character's in the kitchen or whatever. And the dog is like drinking her milk. And then they're like laughing and she comes back and drinks the milk.
Once again, these kids are shitbags.
They are shitheads. But she drinks the milk and she has like no reaction. And then after a second she goes, and she like rubs her lips.
I think she's like taking a hair or something.
Oh, okay. That at least makes I thought she was like rubbing her lips. I'm like, what is happening? It looks so fucking awkward.
Yep.
But anyway, so then the next day, Dean Cain is taking the kids on a surprise trip somewhere. He gets a phone call, like a mysterious phone call.
Yeah, because his wife, his dead wife, was an architect.
Yeah,
or something like.
And we find out eventually what this all was, but at the time, when it's happening, we don't know where they're going.
Work through Habitat for Humanity, which shocker was also a sponsor for this movie.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about the end scene. It's so weird. Anyways,
so they go to a neighborhood that I guess had been washed out by a flood.
They said there was a storm
like
or something. Yeah, flood or storm. Yeah, I think flooding is what they say.
It's over the year after the flood came through. You know, most of us didn't have insurance. I mean, since we weren't in a floodplain, we didn't think it could happen to us.
And he meets this woman who's just like, "Hey, your wife. We knew your wife." And they can't bring the dog. So that's another thing, is that they're like, hey, we can't bring the dog with us.
Also, this is the beginning where the part of like where the dog is introduced, where they're like, okay, we need to figure out a way to not have this dog in all these scenes.
Right. So. We're just gonna not have the dog in most of the movie. So she takes it to a pound. And we never see it until the end of the movie again. But while they're gone, Danny takes the dog and initially puts it in a gift box, like she's gonna use that, but then doesn't, and to take it to the car, I guess, and then lets it out in the car, but then takes it to the pound and it's like, murder this dog, and the guy's like, okay,
like I said, jerk left and off a cliff.
Yeah, she's just like, but not like, you know, because the thing that you would think an insane person, but less insane person would do would be like, oh, the dog got out, and like, whoops, it just got out, or find somebody else, like take it back to the rescue, or I don't know. There's like a million things.
Yes.
No, she takes it.
Euthanize this animal.
She takes it to the pound and is like, you must kill this dog. And the guy's like, you say so. All right, I don't give a shit.
A bird killer, huh? Well, I might just have to move this one to the top of my list.
Wonderful. How soon can it be done?
Sunday morning.
It's very funny. But anyway, so the dog is now at the pound. Also, meanwhile, Malcolm is throwing firecrackers at kids because he's a little shit as well. It's great. But like you said, we find out the dead wife was an architect and that she did the blueprints for this woman that they meet's home and all of the homes in the neighborhood after the flood. And she says, and I was like, okay, well, that's nice, but like, that's not even the most expensive part of that.
Usually the construction.
Yeah, and she goes, and she even helped us find cheap contractors. And I'm like, oh, okay.
And Janie didn't charge one of us a dime. Even helped us find cheap contractors to do the labor, too.
Like, how cheap? You said because she specifically says their insurance didn't cover it or whatever.
I'd also be like, if they're in a situation where they don't have like an extreme amount of home insurance, I doubt they're going to be in the realm for financing a new home.
I don't know. They got cheap contractors, Kyle. And the blueprints were free. You know, like the design part was free. So it basically made the house free.
But that's like, how that works.
Yeah. But she's like, see, and you could this whole neighborhood. And I love Dean Cain like takes the kids.
Yeah, it's great.
And he's like, come on, kids, look. Look what your mom did.
See every house here? Your mom made all this possible.
Yeah.
Wow. Our mom was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Your mother is responsible for every one of these. It's pretty cool, huh?
hey, movie, can we see the neighborhood? No, fuck you. We only stare at them. Like, they're like...
Probably because this is an older neighborhood and all the houses look different.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, there's just some... I was like, could you not just show us a random section of the street? At least show us some houses? No, just stare at them the whole time. Great. But they're...
recording, right?
Yeah. But then, so they mention, she says at the pound when she drops them off, the guy's like, oh, by the way, tomorrow's Christmas, so I can't kill the dog until Sunday.
I don't do my killing on holidays.
I don't kill dogs on Christmas. Which, that guy is a guy. I'll talk about it later. I don't know if you knew. That actor who plays the pound guy is like a guy. We'll get to it. It's super weird.
He did do it. To me, he did every embodiment of a city worker, which is like, yep. We're good. Like the embodiment of
just like doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
just like whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But he's like the actor. We'll get to it. Okay. I have a note about it later.
I have no clue.
I didn't either. I didn't either. Trust me. I was like, but then we'll get to it. We'll get to it. So then they get home from the trip to the thing, and there's this weird editing here where they pull up in front of the house and they get out of the car, and the little boy's like, oh my God, and runs to the house like he saw something.
Yeah.
But then he gets there and it's like the house is just normal.
Yes.
Like I'm like, why did he react like that? But then he gets inside and he's like calling for the dog, and then the dog doesn't come. But I'm like, why would he? What was that reaction to? It doesn't make any sense.
I think they said something about the door being open, but we don't see that.
Yeah, we don't see that. Yeah, it's very weird.
She's obviously been back to change since we left. Bet she's the one who left the door open. On purpose.
But anyway, so then he gets in and looks for the dog. They can't find it. And then they go out looking, like searching the neighborhood, and oof, the video noise on these
yes, God,
night shots is somebody had to crank the gain all the way up, the ISO all the way up on those cameras to get the exposure to even look. And yeah, it is rough.
You're shooting with a sea sponge.
Come here, Belle. Come here, Belle.
Also, the timeline of this makes no sense to me because she calls. I'm going to try to decode this. She goes in the morning when they leave. In the morning on Christmas Eve, they leave to go on this trip to go meet the house lady, and then she takes the dog to the pound, and then she calls her friend and tells her she's gonna be late to come into the bakery because she's got to take the dog to the pound, and then they get back from the trip and it's nighttime. And then Christy, after they arrive home at night, Christy is just then getting to the bakery after taking the dog to the pound. How long did it take her to take the dog to the pound? I don't
know.
It doesn't make any sense. It's so weird. Also, her friend sucks. We'll get to her in a minute.
In addition to that, they break all the cardinal rules when it comes to any level of filmmaking, working with animals, kids, and at nighttime.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. So anyways, then I think they bump. Oh, they're going. She comes home to get ready because there's like a cake competition or something that she wants to take. She's got to have her red velvet cake that she baked. She's very proud of. But she gets home and she's like,
"Come on, are we all ready to go have some delicious Christmas treats?"
Oh, why the long faces?
Hey, you guys ready to go to the cake thing? And they're like,
our dog's missing.
And one of them, she's like being a shithead. And one of the kids says to her dad, I think it's the daughter's like,
she just wants you because you're a hot catch and you have lots of money.
She just wants you because you're a hot catch and have lots of money. And then one of the other kids,
I'm sure there's a lot of lawyers who are laughing their ass off things like, oh, you think lawyers have money?
Well, it depends on the lawyer, I guess.
True.
But
my God, like, yeah, what a fucking line.
It's amazing. And then one of the other kids, just an absolute savage, turns to Danny and is like, or says, he says to his dad, he's like,
you're being blindsided by that big-headed blonde.
You're being blindsided by the big-headed blonde. It's just like they call her big-headed all the time. And I'm like, is she like a normal size head?
Yeah.
Weirdos. Oh, fuck. And again, Dean Cain continuously gives these kids actually like good messages where he's like,
and they ignore it.
He's like, hey, I understand that this kind of sucks, but you have to think about other people too. And like, I know it's like hard and stuff, but you got to kind of like try to be sympathetic. She also lost. And again,
do you know that Danny lost her mother at Christmas too? You need to think about other people's feelings too.
he doesn't know she's lying, I think, about her mom dying at Christmas or whatever. But he's like, she also lost her mom during Christmas. And so like try to, sympathize with her and blah, blah, blah. Like really good messaging. And it's like, nope, the kids are just correct.
Nope.
They should be shitheads to this lady. Oh, fuck.
It's all on this machine, including a recent message from your mom.
So then he's going with her to the cake thing for a minute, and then because it's too late to keep looking for
and they get a sitter,
which is the friend of Danny.
And by the way, this woman is executive producer for the film.
Oh, is she?
Yes.
Amazing. Yep. But she's sitting there eating pancakes in the middle of the night, and Malcolm, they also made a point at one point earlier to tell her that their neighbor is crazy and might shoot up their house or something.
Yeah.
He said he would take his .22 rifle and open fire on our front lawn.
And then like a few minutes later, she's eating pancakes, and Malcolm, I think, has put firecrackers in her pancakes in front of her, and they start exploding, and she freaks out and is like, he's shooting at us!
Yep.
Hide!
Yep. She hides in the pantry or whatever, and they do the old-fashioned, let's just stick a chair in there.
Yeah. They just lock her in the closet with a chair. And also, the random girl neighbor is there. Why is she there? Where did she come from?
What is going on here?
She just appears and is there. I was like, what? Okay, I guess you're here now. And then they're like, we got to get downtown. And their grandma shows up just like rolling on like a girl's night.
It's literally right out of Golden Girls. Like we have, it feels like the grandma is like Betty White.
Yeah.
And then her wisecracking friend in the back is B. Arthur.
Yeah, she's like, get in. And what an irresponsible grandmother. She picks up these kids in the middle of the night at their house, drives them downtown.
Drops them off into there, yes.
Leaves them.
Yep, bye.
What are you doing?
All that eggnog.
And then when they get downtown, this scene, I was like, oh no. The little girl, the daughter, runs up to some random guy.
Yes, this was like, whoa.
She goes,
excuse me, mister. I'm having a hard time locating my father.
Hey, stranger, I'm having trouble finding my parents. Can you give me a lift up to your
top floor?
And he's like,
can I trouble you for an elevator ride up to your top floor?
Well, sure, kid. And while you're up there, why don't you see if they've got a Danish?
Sure. And like, I was like, no, dude.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Congratulations, you just fell for a police sting.
Do not pick up random little girls who walk up to you on the street, sir. Please do not do that.
What?
Well, sure, kid. And while you're up there, why don't you see if they've got a Danish? I think they're going to run out before I can get to the table.
Oh, God. And then he doesn't even follow up because he's like, I can't find my parents. He's just like, all right, fine. I guess you're fine or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need any help or anything, so let me not wave down the police.
But then they're I don't even remember what happens here, but he gets a call from Haley Duff, who offers to come help look for the dog. And this again, he's like, wow, she's so kind, amazing.
I need to make sure that you guys keep this dog, because I don't want it anymore. That's what this was.
Yeah. Then they go into the bakery
because
area
they need her keys
or something, or they're looking through her purse.
Whatever. They break into the bakery area, and has to make sure that something's ready to.
I don't know. She goes in. No, she has something on her teeth.
Let me see. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
That's all right.
She's eating the cake with Dean Cain, and then he's like, hey, you got something on your teeth. And she comes in, I think, to get floss or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And then the kids are in there, and then it turns into some hijinks where she gets cherry tarts dumped all over.
That was so fucking creepy.
My favorite. Yeah, they all land on her crotch very specifically. Like, that's weird. And then Malcolm walks up, he's like, yeah. I'll take a piece of that cherry pie.
Oh my God.
Yep. It's great. It's great, Kyle. It's great. And then they gotta escape, so I think they figured out, they get an address or something from her bag. They're like, find some address. Yes. And then they're getting to steal her car. I don't even know where they're going, but they're running, and then in the middle of running like away from her because she sees them, The son just stops and sits down on the curb and pulls out a picture of his dead mom and talks about it. Like,
what is this?
I was like, why are we doing this right now? What is happening? So weird.
Well, it's because the script demanded it.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom. Bet you're wondering why I'm out here all alone at night without Dad, huh?
But then, like, him and his sister just sit there and reminisce about their dead mom for like 5 minutes. I'm like, what is? Okay, great, fantastic.
So they get to Danny's house, right?
Yeah.
They open the front. My favorite thing about them opening the front door is, and this is just the smallest of things. I don't know where this building location is, but they open the door and it opens in, and it does not have a deadbolt or anything.
Oh, it doesn't?
No. And it's just like, okay.
Doesn't seem very safe.
No.
But they get inside and the dog's not there, and they're like, fuck. And the little kid is going to, like, give up.
I mean, yeah, he's like,
oh, man.
Yeah.
But then he gets a pep talk from the neighbor girl or whatever. She's like, don't get.
You're right there, Brian?
Don't get. Belle wouldn't give up on you, whatever your name is, little shithead kid.
Do you really think Belle would give up on you that easy? Or would your mother have if she were still here?
Don't give up. And he's like, okay, we'll
Belle
look somewhere
remembers
else.
things for like 5 minutes because she's a dog.
She's like a puppy, yeah. But they somehow figure out, they hear a voicemail.
Yes.
About the pound.
From the friend.
The friend,
like,
yes.
You better hope that pound takes care of that little dog quick.
And they're like, oh no, we got to get to the pound. So they call the neighbor girl calls her older sister. Who shows up with the most insane music playing in her car I have ever heard. It's like, what is happening?
Christy, no, you promised you would take us to the pound.
Yeah, well, that was to get you in the car.
But then she takes them to the pound. They give her like $20 or whatever. Like, hey, can you take us to the pound? She takes him there, and then they're talking to the pound guy, and he's such a terrible actor. But because he's not an actor, a spoiler. We'll get to it in a second.
Was he a porn dude?
No, God.
What?
I mean, maybe I don't know, but no, that's not the main thing he's known for. We'll get to it in a second because there's somebody else that. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. It's just weird. It doesn't really matter. It's not. I'm building it up way more. It's not that interesting. But
you're making Brian. You're giving it intrigue.
I know.
Far more than it deserves.
Building intrigue for something that is not that interesting when we get to it. But he's like, hey, you got $60? I'll give you your dog. And they're like, we don't. We have 20. And he's like, well, too bad killing your dog. Bye.
You don't got $40 more. I don't got no bird killer for you.
Yep.
And then they bribe
the sister
to flirt with him.
Yes.
So that they can sneak in and steal the dog. Which I love that she's down for that. She's like, fuck it, I'll do it, whatever. She goes in and flirts with this guy so they can sneak in.
But Brian, there's so many other dogs who are in a horrible situation at this pound. We gotta save them all.
We can't just leave the other dogs here. This is the pound. They'll all be doomed unless we save them.
But they won't all fit in your fine sister's car, is what Malcolm says.
God, that kid.
You may not be able to fit all of them in your fine sister's car.
But we can use the pound van to get them all out of here. So they're able to there's some sort of distract. I don't remember what happens, but they're able to open all the gates and get all the dogs out, and they get them into the van. And right as they're getting away, the pound guy comes out and is like, ah! And then they get into a car chase where the pound guy's
Yes, Malcolm can apparently reach the pedals. I'm shocked at that.
Yeah, it's incredible. And then also they say, oh, what do we do with the dogs? And they're like, we'll call Kate from the pound, the dog rescue. She'll know what to do. And it would be hilarious to me if they showed up with the dogs and she's like, I can't.
Yeah.
It's like 50 dogs. We got to take them back to the pound. I can't do something with 50 dogs. I don't know that's way too many for us to handle. But they're on this, they're in a car chase, and Malcolm, again, because he's like an 8-year-old kid, cannot drive and crashes the van into the cake competition that's happening or something like that. And knocks over her red velvet cake.
The damn red velvet cake. I do like how at one point she's they're trying all the different cakes, and Dean Cain's like, yeah, this one's pretty good.
This cheesecake's really good.
Oh yeah. Try this red velvet cake. That one's okay too.
Yeah, he's like, it's fine, I guess.
The cheesecake is amazing.
Oh, and I made the red velvet.
Oh yeah, that's not bad either.
Sucks. Your red velvet cake sucks. It's dry. It's terrible. Get out of here with your shit cake. But also, after the like everybody, a bunch of people fall over and stuff, and then the friend is there now. She's like laying on the ground. Some random guy walks over and like gives her a hand up. And then they have like a meet cute.
Yeah, they talked about the plumber earlier in the film.
Oh,
and this was the plumber.
Oh, okay, I missed that. But they give him like a meet cute.
He's really good at cleaning pipes.
And fuck you.
Kimmy, he's a plumber.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we giving a meet cute to our dog murder accomplice? She is literally, she knows about the dog murder plot. She is helping her friend murder this dog. And we're like, oh, look at her get a meet cute. How fun. I'm like, fuck, what is happening? Oh, God. And then, Dean Cain shows up and the pound guy shows up. Everybody's there. And the pound guy's like, your kids just fucking stole a bunch of dogs from the pound,
and
stole my car and crashed it. And Dean Cain's like, how can I, like,
little money, you know.
And I love the guy whispers in his ear and is like, an amount of money. And Dean Cain's like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? And then he's like, pulls out his credit card. And
no plastic. No, of course.
The guy's like, no, I don't take card. And then Dean Cain opens his wallet and just, the guy
pulls out like $200 or something.
I was like, what was the amount of money?
Yeah.
Because what I imagined, he's like $5,000 or something. You know,
or something. Yeah.
You would think the thing that you would need to cover this, like, to make this go away is not like a couple $100.
I mean, to be fair, it is city property, so fuck it.
Yeah, that guy doesn't give a shit, honestly. He's like, oh, I got a couple $100, whatever. It's just so funny, though. Anyways, it's revealed that they tell Danny's there and they're like, we know you left Belle at the pound to be killed. And I love the little boy is holding the dog and he's like next to like the dessert table and he's like backing at his a little thing. He's like backing up and the dog, there's a whole plate of brownies sitting right there. And good on the little girl actress who plays the sister, sees this happening and I think just out of character, like reaches over to like stop the dog from eating the brownies. I was like, good job, little girl.
Nice. That's hilarious.
It was just a little detail that I thought was very funny. It's all blown up now. And then this is where the other guy shows up that made me do some Googling and like, what is happening? Because there's a line is delivered that made no fucking sense to me. And I was like, what? The guy who's Santa.
Yes.
Turns around and says to everybody, in front of everybody, to her, he's like,
well, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a gold digger.
If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a gold digger. And I was like, what does that mean? And then I was like, who is this? The camera lingers on this guy in a way that was very weird.
Yeah.
Duck Dynasty, Kyle. He's one of the people on Duck Dynasty, and so is the guy in the pound. They're Duck Dynasty people, but not the Duck Dynasty people you've ever seen anywhere.
Yeah, they didn't have the beard.
I don't think they're like important Duck Dynasty people. I think they're like lesser Duck Dynasty people. Like you couldn't even get the Duck Dynasty people are not hard to get, I have to imagine. No. And they couldn't even get any of the known ones. But yeah, holy shit.
That's hilarious.
But the pound guy is also like a member of the Duck Dynasty people. That's what he is from.
Well, that's probably why he was kicked out. He didn't have the
beard. Yeah, he didn't have the beard. Yeah. Then, so everything's resolved. Oh, she's gone. And then the next day, they're standing out, or they're coming, or they're at their house or whatever. And Haley Duff shows up and like, oh, why don't you come inside? Dean Cain's like, come on inside, have some Christmas dinner with us. And she's like, sure. And then then a caroling group shows up, and this shit cracked me up. The caroling group shows up, and they come outside. To like, oh look, they're caroling, and one of them is two of them are
holding signs like your dead wife made all this possible.
What? That's what the signs say. The signs say these are the people your Janie saved. And I'm like, this is so weird. Why? What a weird sign to bring caroling.
Dean Cain's like, everybody, come on in. We'll got hot cocoa for everybody, for all you 50 people that showed up for the.
Please come on inside for some eggnog, maybe a hot toddy, some hot chocolate. Come on.
And then Haley Duff comes in with him, and then him and the little girl hold hands and walk in, and the movie ends, and it's real bad. This movie's bad.
This movie's bad. This is the definition of just a god awful film that went on way too long.
Yeah, and it's not even that long. It's an hour and a half, but it's still way too long.
There was only funny things in this in regard to these are children are terrible people.
Yeah.
There's like occasionally like a random thing that happens where you're like, that seems really weird.
Seems really
it's
weird.
not like mind-blowing insane, but it's just like, huh?
No.
Yeah.
Not like our next movie.
No.
I can't wait to talk about our next. Anyway, sorry.
Bad. Just
yeah, it's bad.
boring.
Stay away.
Ugh.
As always, you can do us a giant favor by heading over to patreon.com/GBorBB. Support us there for a few bucks a month. You can also do us a giant favor by buying our merch, like the stuff that Kyle is wearing. Get some merch. That's also awesome. There was something. I have a podcast called This Films That where we talk about movies that are based on books. When this episode's out, the most recent episode will have been The Three Musketeers.
Yay!
Have you ever seen the 1993 Disney Three Musketeers movie?
Oh,
it's got the cast is incredible, Kyle. I remember.
So aside from the fact that it's been made to film so many goddamn times.
It's been made a million times, but we're doing the Disney one.
Who stars in this one?
Kiefer Sutherland, Charlie Sheen, Oliver Platt, and Chris O'Donnell.
The fuck was the Young Guns with swords?
Okay, Leonard Maltin in his review literally called it Young Swords.
That's great.
Yeah, I remember watching this movie as a kid and loving it because it's like a silly like action movie. But anyways, so that's what we're talking about when this episode's out. That's it. The end. It's out. I mentioned it. Go watch Wrath of the Viper Sniper. You can rent it on Amazon. It's like a couple bucks, or you can buy it for a few bucks.
You can check out a special appearance by yours truly.
We are in it. It's like just over an hour long, I believe, so it's fairly short, but it is out, available to purchase and rent on Amazon. Go do it. Go check it out. We will be talking about it probably in the new year, very, very shortly. But we will be doing an episode before too long on it. Kyle, until next time, keep watching movies.
Just not a
Don't
Belle
fucking
for
watch
Christmas.
Belle, or really any movie with Dean Cain at this point. Don't. It's not good.